Chinese respond by arresting all the Canadians. Seemingly, they're just arresting every Canadian in their country.
Yeah, why not? I would. Bloody Canucks.
You arrest one of our officials for an actual charge. We'll arrest every single person of yours.
And what are you going
That's
to
how
do
we should
about
do
it?
it. Next time, like a British person gets arrested in some country for like it's all drug running or something, we'll go right. What country are they from? Sweden. Right, every Swedish person in our country is getting put in a prison camp.
Wait, on what grounds?
But
You're Swedish.
we'll figure something out. That's not our... You're the people who do the arresting. You figure it out. We come with the law. We come with the ideas. You implement them.
Every single person from Sweden happens to be carrying a small baggie of, I don't know...
Clocks. Evening, everybody. I'm TheSuffolkRam.
Skazz.
I forgot we were actually broadcasting. I'm sorry. I was so busy like, oh, look, we're broadcasting. It's oh, yeah, and it's working as well. Yeah, there we go.
And look, that's actually smoother than when...
Well, it's because that's something to do two things at once, is it?
Oh, fair point.
Black.
This can do two things at once.
I'm also running in Cali at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Cali mode, mate.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Stop hacking my Wi-Fi.
Yeah. That's fine, it's good. Anyway, I'm TheSuffolkRam. I've said that already, but hi again.
And I'm Skazz again.
Welcome to episode 105.
105.
First of 2019.
I'm proud of us.
We are, should be proud. We'll be on episode...
No, it's what, 5? Is it 5 years yet?
We started August 2013.
Jeez.
So, yeah...
We were younger back
We're
then.
heading towards 6 years of podcasting.
It's mental.
It's terrifying, actually. 6 years.
It's took us 6 years, and this year we're actually going to invest in actual quality. I will...
We did quality initially. Well, we said half as bad episodes, then we got quality, and then it's all went downhill.
I'll start working on it again. I was supposed to be working on it today, but we've had a few... well, I can't say bugs in the system.
No, it's a bit bigger than that.
Yeah. Cute as hell, though. But,
Mices.
yeah, we've got a mouse problem. Go get a new one. They're only cheap on Amazon. Shut up!
Evening, Annie.
Hi, Annie.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, as I said to you, look, they're fighting the mice and they're losing. Okay, clearly they're in a Pixar film.
We're the
And
villains.
clearly, yeah, it's a Pixar film about a group of mice who just want to live in harmony somewhere, and gradually over the course of their film, all their mates and so forth get killed. Or that's being a Pixar, be family-friendly deaths. So I don't know, they get like jumped off a building or something. They all get dealt with, and then at the very end, the plucky young mouse goes in and somehow takes over the entire house. This time next week, they'll be living on the streets.
That will probably happen. Now you mention it.
Yeah.
At the rate we're going.
Well, it's what's going to happen, isn't it?
Bless him. And then the credits roll.
Yeah. So
We'll step out of the house and all of a sudden you'll hear, cut. And it's like,
Yeah.
God damn.
So, let me guess, have you been playing Mickey Mouse this week then?
No. No, but I have been playing a game on Nintendo Switch about catching little animals and forcing them to fight.
Oh, is that the child endangerment game?
Yes.
Oh, it's the Pokemons. Because which one is this? Pokemon sort of slight shade of beige?
No, they're very... Right, so... a couple of months ago, they released Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. So 2 versions, Pikachu and Eevee. And what they are basically reboots of the first 2 games. So Red and Blue that came back out in 97-ish, thereabouts. They then made Pokemon Yellow, which was another version of Red and Blue, but with a story that followed closer to the anime. Well, Pikachu and Eevee, Let's Go, are kind of reboots of Yellow. So it's almost a reboot of Yellow, but with a few changes. So the story's a little bit different here and there. Certain events don't happen the same way as they did in Yellow or Red and Blue. Mechanics are slightly different. But it's, graphical overhaul, new time, new system. Everything from previous Pokemon games more forwards. It's alright. But it all takes place in the original region of Kanto. Which was cool for me because that's where I started Pokemon all the way back in the 90s.
I thought that's where you were born.
Yeah, that's where I was born, in the fictional land of Kanto. So in Pokemon Yellow, back in the day, you were forced to have a Pikachu that no one liked because it was Pikachu. Pikachu sucks, and anyone that chooses...
Pikachu was like the character in Pokemon.
Yeah, who cares? That's wrong. Well, it is in the cartoon. In the games, the original two main characters were Charizard and Venusaur. And then over here it was Charizard and Blastoise. And it wasn't until the cartoon came out that Pikachu really became a lead character. So, as I said, they've had story rewrites. Mechanics rewrites are important in this game. Because if you know your way around Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow, you're not just going to breeze through this one.
No.
It's not close enough for your your knowledge of the game way back then to really carry over too much.
So we have an advantage if you have played them, or is there no advantage at all?
Not a huge amount. Not a huge amount. Like, you might know where a few things are or a rough order in which to do things, but there are a few changes here and there that kind of throw a spanner in the works.
Now being followed by Dushium. It just popped up on your screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'll be from...
There we go.
Oh, gravy. That will probably be from my Twitch feed. Just using my setup. Anyway, so one big mechanic change I have to mention off the bat is that it comes with a custom control pad, or you can choose to buy it with a custom controller. And that's the Pokeball Plus, and it's a Pokeball shaped control pad.
Do you throw it?
No, but you do have to do the motion of throwing to throw Pokeballs in the game.
Does it come with all things like the nunchucks?
Yes, strapped to loop it over your finger and that. The idea with this is, it not only is it a control pad for the game, it also stores a Pokemon and it has a pedometer on it. So you can take a Pokemon from the game, put it on the ball, and as you walk around, that Pokemon actually gains experience and levels up, which was a mechanic taken from Pokemon Gold and Silver with its Pokewalker. So you could level up a Pokemon as you're outside of the game, kind of thing.
Oh.
That's a neat mechanic. So you can take one Pokemon with you anywhere in the real world.
See, encourage the kids to take to school thing, isn't it?
Kind of. And it's been handy for me because if I can't be bothered to play the game, one of my Pokemon is still leveling up as I'm rocking around the game. And as you'd think, it's quite clumsy to have a ball as a control pad, but they've actually, obviously, because it's been designed around using this ball, it feels more natural to use the ball than the Nintendo Switch's actual control pads.
So has it got all the same controls as the Nintendo Switch on it? All the same controls, or is it like really customised?
Kind of. You've got A button, B button, and the Y button, which is a shake. They're the only three buttons that get mapped, and then movement. So those are really
most of the buttons, though, isn't it? If it's only missing X and one D-pad.
No, 1, 2, 3 buttons you're missing.
Those shoulder buttons on the controllers.
Yeah. You're missing the two shoulder buttons and one face button. But, you know, it plays really well. The catch mechanic is completely different. So, if you've ever played Pokemon Red and Blue, the entire game's catch mechanic is based on the Safari Zone, where you don't battle wild Pokemon with your Pokemon, you just throw Pokeballs at them and bait them to try and catch them. A lot of people don't like that, but that is the main way that you catch new Pokemon and level up. There are no random battles anymore. Pokemon pop up on the map, or on the kind of play field, and you run into them and you can battle them. Has the same chain mechanics as newer Pokemon games, so if you catch multiple of the same type of Pokemon, you get a chain bonus. The higher the bonus, the more likely you are to find a rarer version of that type. So there's that. You can still do regular Pokemon battles by battling NPC trainers. Gym battles are exactly the same, although now they have prerequisites before you can actually go into the gyms.
Right, was that not on the previous games then?
No.
So you're going and get absolutely trounced.
Well, no, so as an example, I think it said something like in the first gym, you couldn't go into the first gym unless you had a grass or water type Pokemon. But they wouldn't actually let you compete unless you had one. A later gym also said like you couldn't take on this gym unless you had a Pokemon of at least level 45 in your party. So there were little things that weren't there in prior games that kind of forced you to go out and catch Pokemon to level Pokemon up and stuff. Because back in the older Pokemon games, well, all the way up until quite recent history, if I ever played a Pokemon game, I would steamroll it with a single Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And that's largely what I've done this time, but I've still been forced to go out and catch other Pokemon. We won't let you into the gym unless you've caught 50 different species of Pokemon. It's like, okay, then I better go out and catch 50 different types of Pokemon.
So you mentioned gyms that have restrictions on like what type. Was it always the case that you could only fight with those types?
No, you could fight with your main party. You just had to have one of that type in your party.
A bit
stupid.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Like I said, it's just a random thing to try and get you to go out and catch more Pokemon and level up and things like that. TMs, technical machines or technique machines from Pokemon Red, Blue and Yellow were, well, in a lot of the games were one use. So over time you would complete certain quests or find these items and they would contain moves that you could teach a Pokemon once and then it would just be deleted. It would be gone from your inventory and you couldn't get it again. Now, technical machines or technical machines, just TMs, you can use them repetitively. They're repeat use. They're not just one-time use. Just use it as many times as you want. Teach as many Pokemon as you want. I've also been told that
you might as well teach all your Pokemon then.
Well, only if it's a move that you really want to. Because once upon a time, there were things called HM slaves, which were hidden machines. And these were super special moves that were required to progress through the story. So if there was a tree blocking your path, you'd need a move called Cut. If there was a boulder blocking your path, you'd need a move called Strength. If there was a body of water in front of you, you need to use something like Surf or whatever like that. And these were moves that you could teach, but then couldn't delete because Pokemon can only learn 4 moves. And you can erase normal moves and TM moves, but you couldn't erase HMs. So you'd end up having a handful of Pokemon in your party just to learn those moves, which were completely pointless because most of the time they were jank as hell to use in battle.
Yeah.
You don't have that anymore either.
So there's some poor Pokemon, so it's the utility Pokemon.
Yeah, basically, that's why they were called the HM Slave.
Your only job in this part, you're not to fight anybody, it's just to knock rocks down and cut trees down.
Yeah, basically, that was it. You'd always have 1 or 2 Pokemon in your party that would just have these jank moves that you needed to move around the map. I guess you can now ride Pokemon, which is a bonus because they don't give you a bicycle anymore, but it doesn't take very long to get the flying skill, so you don't have to worry about any of that either. It's nice that you don't have to have HM slaves. It's nice that TMs are different and kind of multiple uses. It's nice that you can relearn moves. The map is nice. The catching mechanic isn't bad, but a lot of people seem to have forgotten that the Safari Zone existed in the earlier games. So like, oh, this is just a remake of Pokemon Go. Sure, but it's not that bad. Music's decent, you know.
So how are the sort of mystery? How the sort of skills and interact? Are the skills upgradable or are they?
No. So there are. So
I'm talking how the tactics work. So can you you have to have the right skills to fight. Right moves to fight that.
It's very rock paper scissors style. So each Pokemon has a type. See, I've been talking about it as if people already know what Pokemon is because I mean, come on, it's been out for over 25 years.
I know the vagaries of it, but I've never played one. So I know it's one-on-one combat type thing.
Yeah, it runs like a turn-based RPG, and each pocket monster has a type. And so there'll be strengths and weaknesses. So, for example, fire is weak against water. Water is weak against electricity and grass. Electricity is weak against stone. Things like that. So, if you go up to a grass Pokemon and use a fire move, you'll just steamroll the thing. If you go up against a water Pokemon with an electric Pokemon and you use an electric move, you will steamroll it. It's basically just effectiveness. So you can either do normal damage, double damage, or half damage. That's basically how those work.
So it's just per rock, paper, scissors then?
Basically, yeah.
So winning through the various gyms is just learning the right moves.
Learning the right moves and having the right level Pokemon.
So levels in there as well, so the levels tied to damage, I'm guessing?
Yes. Because your Pokemon have stats that go up per level, There are items that you can give your Pokemon to give them slight increases in stats. Moves. Each character has, or each Pokemon has like a skill tree, and as you level up, it will give you the opportunity to learn a different move when you meet that requirement. But you will have to delete a previous move. Right. So, for example, a Charmander will start with Scratch, and then at a higher level it will learn Slash, and you can choose to replace one of your moves with...
And is that a permanent choice, or can you like sort of respec them?
You can in this one, from what I've heard, but I haven't got that far to be able to do it yet. I haven't found the game to be particularly difficult. As I say, I've been steamrolling it with one Pokemon. There are...
Is that because that Pokemon is just OP compared to everything else?
No,
or is it just that you know what moves to put on it?
I know what moves to put on it because it's been the same since day one, and because that Pokemon has been so heavily leveled because of that Pokeball Plus mechanic. Let's put it this way, by the time I bought my Pokemon back from the first day of training, it was level 30 in like a level 10 zone.
Nice.
So I was steamrolling things pretty quick. The enemies up to this point are only now level 50. My Pokemon is currently... My main Pokemon, I say main Pokemon because I only really use one, is about level 65.
Yeah.
So soon I would be able to use that single Pokemon to take out the last 4 or 5 bosses of the game. So it's not a bad game. It isn't bad. It's expensive. It's a nice little introduction to Pokemon. It's a nice reboot of the first games in the series. Fun kind of Fisher-Price My First RPG.
Yeah. It sounds like still aiming for the kiddies.
Yeah. Although
which is good in a way, because that's why you probably were quite young when you first played Pokemon. How old were you first played Pokemon?
Oh God, actually, I was quite old for someone to actually start playing Pokemon. So I'm trying to think when was it, 1996 when it came out, so I've been about 11.
Well, you say, that's... Yeah. But I would say it's still obviously aiming for that market, which is nice. Sure. That they've not gone, we'll just would share with the audience and think, well, no, that's not the point of it. It's meant to be...
Although they have actually said that the average Pokemon player's age is anywhere between 30, anywhere between 25 and 35 at this point.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think even a lot of old school players have gone back to it and said, you know what, this is actually quite a nice spin on it, and that a lot of younger children will
pick it up.
Yeah. A lot of people.
And then reboot the TV series and start all over again.
They're still going.
We're still making them.
Yes, it's still going. It is still going. With every new game, the series keeps going. It's been going since the 90s.
Oh my god.
It's never stopped.
So hundreds of, if not thousands of episodes by now.
They air them on Twitch. It's insane.
It's one of the ones that you could start watching one week and still be watching it a month later if you've watched nothing else but Pokemon.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you could probably start running it now, constantly. Even if you're not watching it, just have it running in the background. It'll last for a hell of a long time. Hell of a long time.
You'd be pretty sick of those characters by about a 2 or 3 month mark.
You'd be pretty sick of those characters by about 5 episodes in. But that's. I thought it was all right. Look, some of the old school players instantly just kind of shat all over it because it was very Pokemon Go, like it was very simplified. They're like, oh god, you're insulting children's intelligence because the catch mechanic is very Pokemon Go like. But then I said, well, it is very Safari Zone-like from the early games. Yeah. It's not the traditional catch mechanic or the main series catch mechanic, but it was the catch mechanic of Safari Zone.
It's making use of motion controllers, which is all part of the thing about the Switch. It's motion controllers, it's part of its thing.
Yep. But then a lot of those players who went and actually tried it, because maybe they had a little hands-on go at an event, and they were, oh, it's not very good, it's not very good. Then they went back.
And he points out that the Pokeball control makes levelling a walk in the park, literally.
Yeah, that's
very nice.
Aha, good job.
That's going to be the tagline on the back of the box.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how I've been levelling mine up. Just taking the dog out for a walk.
If it's a pedometer, why don't you strap it to the back of the dog's legs? Those legs move a lot quicker than you.
Wow.
Or its tail. There you go.
Every time he gets happy, level up.
Does it like make a noise or anything when it levels up?
The Pokemon does occasionally try to engage with you by like calling out, so then you would press a button on the ball, and then it gives you higher rewards because you actually get not only experience points but items.
So is it a bit like it's almost like having a little Tamagotchi with you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat. It is kind of neat.
Version 2 have a little screen on it where you'll
That's
see
what the Pokewalker used to have on it. From Gold and Silver, it used to just literally be a little tiny screen with 3 buttons, and your little Pokemon was on it.
Oh.
So.
No.
There we go. All
Oh.
good. So I've been playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I think it's all right. It's probably the first Pokemon game that I've properly enjoyed in a long time. Because I mean, for the last 5 or 6 years, the last few generations of Pokemon, I have not found interesting at all.
Can that sound be muted? Apparently.
Well, on the
Pokeball, I'm
Pokeball,
guessing.
yes, you can. Yeah, you can mute it.
So one guy will shoot home would like at a funeral say, if you're walking the casket on your shoulder and your Pokeball goes whatever noise it makes.
Yeah, well that depends on what Pokemon you put in it.
Oh, I don't know.
There you go.
And you're walking along, you're sort of doing that last thing and just goes. That would be a
shit,
bit
go put this
embarrassing.
down. I've got to interact with my Pokemon. Hang on.
Yeah, Grandpa would understand.
And all of a sudden you hear a knock on the casket. Play with that Pokemon, you little fucker.
Told you how to do that. Well, I've been playing smattering of games because it's been Christmas and I've been social. I finished Sniper Elite 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. It got though when I finished it was because not because I was enjoying it, wanting to finish it, because I've got this far through it. I'm going to finish this bloody game.
No, I know how you feel on that
Yeah,
one. I
so-
did the same thing actually with Smash Brothers, the new Smash Brothers game that came out.
Yeah.
I got it. I paid a ridiculous amount for it, and I was like, it didn't take me very long to play it to realise I didn't like it, and I was like, well, Christ, you know what? I'm gonna play it until I unlock all the characters, and then it's gone. And I actually deleted it live on stream and said it was the worst game of 2018. People were not happy.
No, I bet they weren't. Yeah, so I finished that, but I discovered the main character, I think, is meant to be British.
All right.
Which is a bit confusing because he sounds like the most butch American I've ever heard in my life. But I went on the where you can pick characters, you can go back and replay missions with different characters, and it has their nationality flag behind him.
Right.
He's got a British flag behind him.
There you go.
What?
Now you know. That's the British version of BJ Blazkowicz.
I know, but he doesn't even sound British. You know, you could make it sound. I'm sure you could find some gruff Scottish person in there.
Some people would complain that we don't sound particularly British.
I'm very British heavy now. I drink tea with my finger just like that.
have you now?
I have a monocle and a top hat, and
the mice rack bit.
yeah, and I eat toast and jam every morning for breakfast.
My tinfoil top hat got wrecked.
Oh, has it said mice in it?
No.
That's right then. now the government can't control me anymore.
Tinfoil top hat protecting your brainwaves, man.
Yeah. I always want to say to people when I see the tinfoil hat, saying, you do realise that your brain is on the side of your head as well. It's like, waves don't just travel, they travel roughly a straight line, but they will bounce around.
Don't say that to them, that really screws with them, man.
Yeah, it does.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So I play that. I briefly played it at New Year's. We wanted to play a game at New Year's, so we thought we'd have a look in the Steam link and Steam library.
Right.
And we came across Keep Talking Nobody, and then Keep Talking No, I suppose.
Yeah. Because you printed out that manual for us to play on the 24 hours.
Yeah, we didn't get time in the end. So, but yeah, you split into 2 groups. It was me and my sister with the bomb disposal experts. I use experts in the lightest possible sense, and mother and father were that's all the control, and it's brilliant fun.
Oh,
You basically you are a bomb disposal expert, and you start off, and there's a bomb, and it can have between 3 and 12 modules in it. And each module, so it looks like, imagine like a case with like 6 cubes in it, and if you flip it over, you've got they can be double-sided.
Okay.
So you can have modules on each side. At early stage, they're all on one side. Later on, you have to flip them over. You always have a timer module on it, and but the other 11 are all ones that have to be disabled. They're independent of each other, so you can do them in. Doesn't matter which order you do them in. You're not going to be affected that way, but they're very cleverly designed that they rely on you to talk to the people at the other end, because there's quite a few themes. So the early one is wires.
Right.
You have a number of wires, a number of colours. They'll have like a little flow chart, and they'll say, right, okay, how many wires has it got? 6. Okay, Are there more than 1, 2 yellow ones? Yes. Okay, you need to cut the 5th wire, like a little flow chart. So you have to sort of relay to them information about.
Sure.
So
the
basic
idea
release
is that one group isn't. They're not looking at the screen. They're like over there on the other side of the room, staring into the bomb manual.
And we can't look at the bomb manual.
Yeah. So
you are sort of chatting back and forth and lying them, and it's bloody stressful because you're in this place, and all you can see is the timer ticking down because it's big and it's just ticking down constantly in front of you.
Does that have HTC Vive support and
yes,
support?
Yes, it does.
Blimey.
So you can imagine that where you're sort of flipping it around. It's like shit. And we blew up quite a few times.
Oh, good.
Mostly through, I'll say, slowness on part of the base home team. Hang on, we're looking. And they slowly fill a bit of paper. Can you look a bit faster, please?
It's like we're about to blow up here.
There's one which is like one which is a button you have to push and hold it, and then it'll glow a colour, and it'll be like, okay, you release the button when the timer has a 4 in it anywhere. So at any point when it's number 4 and anything does, you can release it.
Okay.
Yeah. The bombs will have serial numbers on them as well. So some possibly like, okay, if this section if you push that button, has the serial number got an odd number in it? Yes. Okay, in this case you need to do that.
Right.
So you need to make a serial number, and there'll be like little battery components on the side. How many batteries there are.
Are these randomly generated?
Yes.
Or good. Because I was going to say
so if you do the same level again, I mean they've got like rules set to them. So a level will have like, okay, you've got 5 minutes. So basically you have a timer, as you stress, 5 minutes. You have how many modules it's got, and you have how many strikes you're allowed. So if you make a mistake, that's a strike.
Okay.
And by default, it's 3 strikes. So you're allowed 2 mistakes. On your 3rd mistake, boom, game over. Yeah, I think that's a bit wrong. Because to me, 3 strikes applies that the first strike should be your last life, and then the next one you make should be an error. But yeah, it's right. So yeah, 3 strikes out. Yeah, so you sit there. You've got these modules. You've got another module that's like a word-based puzzle, and you have a word, and they'll say, okay. There's like we set like 6 other words underneath it, and they go, okay, what's in the top right hand corner? Oh, it's there. Okay, have you got the following words in that list? Yes. Okay, push those.
So is it just me? It sounds like these bombs are made by Saturday morning cartoon villains.
Yes, yes, it is. But then later, so that's all. So initially, it just shows you a 3 modules. Then as it goes to the next level, we got to section 2. So we blew up 3 times on the beginning on the introductory sections.
Oh,
it's quite tricky. I mean, after a while, you start sort of getting the roll of it, and you know once you've seen a module a few times, you get a bit of a roll of it, and you can sort of start working it out. So I was starting to remember a little like, okay, I know this one, I recognise that I can do this. I don't need their help.
Oh dear.
I was not doing it because I thought that'd be mean.
Yes, you were. You're thinking, I don't know what to do. Just give me that.
Oh, there's another one which is like symbols, and it's 4 symbols. You have to push it. The buttons. You have to push them in a certain order. But they have to find the right. They have all the orders on their paper. They've got to find the right page. You'll say, right, okay, you've got one that looks like a backwards C with a dot in it. One that looks like an X with a line through the middle, vertically. Another one that the best I can describe is a woman with big breasts. And I did use a description, and Mum goes, "Oh yes, I found it." You've got one that looks like a backwards crook. And we're just doing this sort of thing. It's like, oh yeah, I think this one. Then we sort of say, oh, does it look a bit like this? Yes, it looks like that. Okay, do this order. But after a while, you sort of give them names. So you like say, okay, I've got copyright symbol, woman with big breasts, backwards crook, and a star.
I'm surprised you didn't say thunder tits.
They wouldn't have got that.
Oh, damn your family!
Yeah, they're not die-hard listeners, unfortunately. Like all of So you clip it through, you do the order. It's brilliant. It's so fun. It's definitely a game. It has to be. It's great when playing groups. You want perhaps 1 or 2 people disarming, and then another person and the other group people all working together. But yeah, it definitely is absolutely so fun. It was just so much fun. But then later on, as you get to higher, it starts throwing more stresses at you. So the room you're in a room, and it's got some neat features. Like there's a little clock on the table, and the clock on the table actually shows current time as in real world current time.
Right.
So this was on New Year's Eve we're playing this game, so it was quite handy because you could look.
Just look over at the.
We've got another half an hour before we need to do anything. It's great. And then what you'll do, you'll pick the bomb up, and then all of a sudden, while you're looking at it, the lights will go out in the room.
Yeah.
And all you can see is all the glowing parts. Like, okay, which wire do I cut? The 5th one. I think this is the 5th one I've got selected right now.
Oh,
click.
dear.
Oh, there we go.
Boom.
Because also you see the counters lit up. Because she's there counting down. It's like the lights better come on. The first time this happened through us. the alarm went off on the little clock on the side table. It starts going off, and like, fucking hell.
Like, oh, God!
And it's really loud, so you have to,
the bomb.
and you have to like, put the bomb down, sit down, and hit the snooze button on it to start. And then like, there's a light in the room that goes off, and it's quite, they know how to put a bit of stress on it. And when you're like, but when you get like, oh, you've got 6 modules to disarm in 5 minutes, when you do it, oh, it's a wonderful thing. It's like, yes! It's a brilliant party game. I can't recommend enough parties, but you've just got to be really good. You mustn't, if you're doing the bomb, you mustn't look at the manual because it just will ruin it.
Yeah, sure.
And vice versa.
So what happens then if you were one of the bomb disposal geezers at one point and then you go to...
Well, I suppose...
Potentially spoil
I reckon if you played it a lot as bombs and then switched over, you might find it a bit easier because you'll know what you're looking at. You'll start recognising the manual. I think it's one of the things that does work if one person stays in the role.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. That's the way, the nature of the beast. Unfortunately, it'd be nice if there was like, perhaps they could have like different versions of it. So like this is a version 1 bombs will all be this combination of modules, and you have one manual for that, and then there's like a version 2 manual, which is a different set of modules and different set of bombs, although it'd be quite a program. Then at least that way you could not have to share the same thing again. That'd be quite sort of neat and so forth. What have we got for chat? There's a picture of me wearing a massive tinfoil hat somewhere on the internet. Oh, there we go. That's Annie. And you still keep on knowing it's a fun party game. It's definitely a fun party game. So, cool. Yeah, it's one we're gonna have to play it sometime because it's so hilariously fun.
Sounds like a plan.
It relies on good communication, which is something that we're going to be.
Yeah, we are very lacking in communication skills.
Yeah, when we're sat there, and it's just me and my sister, and we're like, "Where's our bomb disposal? Where's our bomb disposal estimate?" They just sat at base, and they're like, "Hang on a second." It's like, we can see the timer.
We're about to blow up, goddammit.
We've got 5 seconds left.
It's like, hang on, gonna go make a cup of tea. What? Get back here!
Father did go to the loo, and I said, I'm pretty sure this didn't happen to you. I'm pretty sure this doesn't happen in real life, that you're at the scene where the bomb ticking down, your expert goes, I'm just nipping to the loo, mate, I'll back in a second.
It's like, oh, hang on, someone's at the door. Yeah. What?
Oh, that's my pizza, right, bear with me a second, mate.
No.
10 minutes later, comes back, and you've got to be on there to the clock. Sorry, mate, you're going to be over change.
And then he's like, hello? Hello? What a rude git.
Yeah,
what's the phone now?
Yeah.
It's like, he's dead, mate. Oh.
Yeah, it blew up. Yeah, I wonder what that loud noise was.
Send him a Christmas present. Son of a bitch didn't buy me anything. It's like, he's been dead for the last 6 months. What?
Yeah, remember that day you ordered the pizza and you thought you hung up on the phone?
Oh.
you know when you had that last
yeah,
page?
what about it?
Yeah, page, and you just had written down, oh, it's quite clear the red wire. You didn't bother to tell him that.
Oops.
Yeah, so, it's definitely, when you play it, I think it's sort of aiming off sort of, I say, sort of 1950s set of what a bomb would be like, sort of over the topness and expect. But yeah, definitely going to play it sometime.
Cool.
The only other game to play a little bit off, but we have talked about before, so I'm not going to do much detail, is Kingdoms and Castles.
Yeah, I love that game.
That is really fun.
Yeah, surprisingly fun considering. I mean, Inky first found that. Well, we were watching a Hex DSL video, I believe it was a Linux video, and Inky saw it and quite liked the look of it, so she went and got it. Or I think I got her a copy of it, and then I thought, well, you know what, I'll get myself a copy of it because this looks kind of neat, and you wouldn't believe how addictive it is. It's like kind of a very basic Settlers game.
I also think it also reminds me a bit of Populous, but obviously small scale. Sort of, yeah. So you have a sort of random generate terrain, and you have to put farms down and buildings down, and every few years
repel invaders and stuff like that.
Vikings attack you every sort of few years, and then dragons attack you, and then of course you can build a castle. Although I find rather than building a castle, I just build really tall towers.
That's what we do too.
So why am I going to waste all this stone with walls I don't need? Just build really tall towers every now and again, and put ballistas on them. It's fine. Although I think the game must increase the health of everything as they go up and up, because ballistas seem to take more and more effort to kill dragons, I find. I was only playing, so whether they've patched things, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because I spent a long time since I played it, but I mean, I barely had any trouble at all way back in the early days, so whether or not they've changed it.
Yeah, I think they might have treated them a bit tricky. And that's the other thing I've found, is that it's, because I played it, I got it in June, actually, in the Steam summer sale, or spring sale, some sort of sale, I got it in. I play it a bit, and then I actually I then was it popped up on the Steam featured page of King's Castle. I thought, I haven't played that in a while, I'll play that, and that's why I played it again. It's changed a bit. I can't remember if it had when I played it before. It may have done. I can't remember if it had like merchant ships in it then.
I don't remember any
you
merchant
can
ships.
basically build a dock and the merchant ship will rise every now and again, but it doesn't seem to be workable because I've yet to work. I've tried to, but I can't seem to find out how you sell stuff to them or buy stuff from them. It doesn't seem to work because I've got so much gold. I need to build treasuries and treasuries and treasuries. I'm just training soldiers everywhere, left, right, and centre, to try and spend money because I'm maxing out my treasury.
As you
So
do.
I'm just like, right, I'll just build. If I'll build. Pretty much now, but I'd say about a third of my citizenship is now just soldiers.
He's built like 1,000 libraries. He's got the best education system ever.
I don't want them too educated. So I'm just building lots of, they could be soldiers, you see. And then just sort of...
I was going to say, you've got the smartest soldiers on the planet.
Yeah. I mean, it's got some things. I mean, the combat, when you're trying to sort of guide armies around, isn't very easy.
Well, no, but it is very much like an old point and click strategy.
But it's trying to...
Very clunky.
Yeah. All I want is like sort of... like either hotkeys or something that select this general. So I can click it. So I have to try like, okay, somewhere amongst this building, I have to rotate the camera a bit to find his little figure.
Yeah, it reminds me very much of like Settlers,
Yeah.
where basically if you wanted to select a specific group, you were going to have a hell of a time doing it.
Yeah.
And then in later games, you'd end up with like hotkey combinations and stuff like that to select certain
I hope they
types
add that in because that's just frustrating. You can click on like the training brands and there's like a shortcut key to go to it, but in the heat of the moment, when your army's like you can see it, but it's not quite good enough to click. So to scroll to another part of the map to click on a button to click the shortcut key, and it's not obvious which is which because they all have the same colour banner. It's like, well, can you have different colour banners? So at least I can see, okay, the green, the yellow, and the blue. It's a bit of a faff. So that needs fixed. Other than that, I think it's still early access at the moment. So
Kingdoms and Castles devs, we love your game, but make it a little bit easier to select specific units.
yes, please.
And change flags.
And set rally points to your barracks. So you have your barracks, you have to get to the army general to them to pick everybody up. Let me set a rally point. Because, I think the real army, they say to the soldier, you can't go anywhere till the general turns and picks you up. They say to the soldier, no, we need to go there to go meet the general. I think that's how it more like works. But other than that, it's a really good game. Your basic idea is you round and train, you start off with citizens, build houses, build farms, and as you get more farms, more people, you can then get bigger farms, orchards, bigger houses, and you get more advanced technology. I mean, it's not a very complicated structure. There's only perhaps about 20 buildings in it, something like that.
Yeah, well, there weren't a huge amount when I last played it, but
I think it's about sort of 6 7 resource buildings, about 10 advanced town buildings, like sort of 6 7 basic buildings. Then the castle's got like a few different bits and pieces, like so forth. But yeah, it's a really fun, neat little game. So yeah, well, I recommend pick it up. I think it's still in early access, but yeah, I recommend picking it up.
It's a good one.
Cool. Moving on to TV. Unless you got anything else to add before we move on?
No?
No? Good. I've been watching an old school, I say old school, sort of late 90s sci-fi series called Lexx. I won't be surprised if you've never heard of it.
Well, it rings a bell, but I don't...
Have you heard Farscape?
Yes.
Okay, so Farscape, group of people, prisoners on a living ship that are on the run. Lexx is about a group of prisoners who are on a living ship who are on the run.
Sounds very familiar.
Well, they basically came out at the same time. Now, there's no evidence there's any sort of copying. They just happen to have the same idea. However, whereas Farscape is sort of the PG version of it, Lexx is definitely sort of the 18-rated, R-rated version of it. It pushes things to all the extreme, I think. I think the first half an hour of the very first episode, you see someone get busy sections alive. Like, it's took into like this machine with basic story is there's this big it starts off with this group of guy, and they're sort of like doing this last stand of a planet, and they're fighting off against a thing called his Divine Shadow, who's like the big bad guy. It's all over the top silliness, really, to be honest. It's really over the top silly, the whole thing. It sort of knows it, so it plays to it. And they're fighting them, and basically, long story short, they all get killed in their last stand, and one guy gets sort of like, called Kai, crashes his ship into the Divine, trying to take it out, and he ends up saying getting took away to be experimented on, and he's dead. Divine kills him. Jump forward a few thousand years later. You're on this planet called the Cluster. This guy called Stanley Treadle. He works as a security guard, and he basically he's works this big multi-planet thing, which is it's all this massive. The Divine Shadow's presence basically took over pretty much the whole galaxy. They are it's like sort of a religion and all sorts, and they are, and his job is basically sort of laying prison transports in, because there's a prison on this main planet. And all the prisoners get in, they get sort of put on these sort of big metal grates, and basically they get tried in front of holographic lawyers. So the holographic lawyers say, my client's innocent, my client is innocent.
Yeah, sure.
That sort of thing. They get tried, they know to get found guilty, some get vivisectioned. One person gets condemned to be turned to a love slave. She's this big fat woman that gets took away and literally gets turned into like this. When you watch it, it does feel like you're watching like something that a 14-year-old would come up with. Yeah, let's make this woman who's really ugly and fat. Let's turn to a love slave. That's sort of it does feel like you're watching. Oh yeah, and the guy gets vivisectioned alive. It feels really silly when you're watching it, but actually it sort of draws you in quite easily. It's long story short, one of these prisoners, he's planned to get caught, and when he's there, he sort of, as he's about to get sort of thrown to these nasty creatures, he unleashes a secret weapon. It's like looks like a little dragonfly, and it's called the bug bomb.
Right.
And it flies round, and it basically tries to find where it can. And what's nice about it is that it's got stop motion animated. So when it's landed, it's all done in stop motion. It's really quite neat. And it's just trying to find like some sort of cable that will lace his like sort of restraint so he can escape. And what it's doing that, and it's the key idea how sort of funny dark it is. It just cuts away randomly to like this group of children who've arrived, and they're being shown through saying, and they're getting awards for because they're going to be so good, because they're going to be like the clerics of the Divine Order, because they're showing massive devotion at such a young age. This bug bomb, as I say, cuts the wrong thing. And all the clusters are going to get here and get redirected to the room with all the children in it. You see children getting eaten. It's fine.
Wow.
It's just so funny, yeah. It's because it's all being done by hologram as well, and the hologram's all getting messed up. So at one point, you are the brightest sort of thing, and then also this guy goes, "You're all condemned to death."
Oops.
Yeah. And eventually he escapes, and you think he's going to be the main character. They eventually go down. The other guy, the security guard, he gets in trouble for not basically laying a ship in. Which he actually was in the right. He was not meant to let it in because he hadn't found a code, and they tried to sort of pull rank on him. He said no, and he got overdue by Superior, and his Superior sent him for punishment.
All right.
And he goes down to the punishment, saying, "What am I going to get punished today? Oh, you'll get the basic 333 organ removal." And he goes, "What organs?" He said, "Well, you'll lose." He pretends to be someone else at this point. "What organs will this guy lose?" "Yeah, he's going to lose an eye, a lung, and a testicle."
There you go.
And what if he doesn't come down? "Oh, he'll get killed."
Well,
so he decides to try and figure out what he's going to do. In the end, last bit, he decides, "Oh no, I'm going to go get myself done before I get. It's better than being killed." Unfortunately, he misses the closing time.
Oops.
So it's him running around. He eventually the clusters have escaped, and they've basically then released this love slave. Before she gets some mental conditioning, she managed to escape and puts this robot head in sort of the way of the conditioning. The robot head then, it's literally just the head of a robot, sort of looks and goes, "I love you." And that becomes, she just carries it with her, she goes round. They eventually get aboard the Lexx, which is the name of the thing. And Lexx is, because their technology seems to be all biological based. So Lexx is literally a living ship. It's got seemingly no sort of mechanical parts to it at all. It's fully living. But what happened was, there was a guy who managed, it requires a special key to activate it.
Yeah.
And this guy basically, who has the key, when he's dying, gives it to Stanley, because he's the nearest person to him, he give it to. So Stanley inevitably becomes captain of the Lexx, and he only responds to him and nobody else. So basically, long story short, they fly out the Lexx, and they get chased bits, and eventually manage to escape to the dark universe, which happens to be our universe. The light universe is the nice one, is where they come from. This is the dark universe, and basically it's just their adventures. But it's just funny. It doesn't take itself seriously, and I said it's really OTT of everything. I mean, there's a second episode when the guys virtually gets raped by a machine. And you see it all on screen. I don't care. It does feel like some really bad fan fiction, like from the, but it somehow draws you in. It's got some quite popular characters. The second one's got I forgot his name. Who played Frankenfurter in Rocky Horror Picture Show? I forgot his name. Anyway, he's in it.
Right.
He plays a big character. You've got the one who played the replicant in Blade Runner.
Again.
I can't remember, Rutger Hauer, I think his name is. He's in one of the episodes. It's got some quite all well-known people. Craig Charles turns up later on, apparently. Craig Charles and Hattie Hayridge, they turn up apparently later one of the later seasons. There you go. But it's the Lexx itself is just hilarious. It's so funny because it's not very. It can talk, but it's not very bright. And it does the monologue of the series. It goes, "I'm the Lexx. I'm the most powerful destructive force in the two universes. This is my Captain Stanley. I blow up planets for him."
Well done, good job, bless.
Yeah, but apparently they said they designed the Lexx to make them think like a big golden retriever, a big dumb dog that could destroy planets, and it will just occasionally go eat things because it's a living thing it needs to eat. So occasionally, it'll occasionally say, "Stan, I've eaten something. I don't feel very good." Because it's eating like some shit carrying like toxic waste or something.
Yeah,
and then it throws up. I feel better now.
To the vet.
Yeah, I feel better now, Stan. Yeah, it's just so dumb. It's such a. It's just a real. It things it does get quite. I mean, they one of the things they made of it, and this is they probably said this quite early on. They didn't want to be able to tie down to be any sort of tie to the previous episodes. What they did was they made a policy that every episode, everybody who wasn't the main character would die. Yeah. And that literally follows through for most seasons. Every character in every episode dies at the end.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Either Lexx destroys them,
so
Lexx is done.
If you ever find that there's an actor or actress on set that you just really don't like, don't worry about it, because as long as they're not the main...
Oh no, because it's such a low... It was done on quite a low budget. They often reappear several times through.
God damn.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. It's like... it's some brilliant bits like Stan will just showing these guys round this... Because it's another example. In one early episode, he meets these guys from Planet Potato, and they're like this proper Southern Hicks type people, and they're astronauts. Right. And they, my Maisie Moo at home, she's lovely. And all stuff, And no, my Ruby Woo is a lot better than her. And he's showing them around, he goes, he's a powerful ship. It's like if I say, Lexx, destroy that planet, and Lexx just goes, as you command. I didn't quite mean to do that. Oh, I missed a character. So you've got the love slave Zev and her robot head who hates everybody else because he only loves her, and he hates Stanley Treadle because he thinks he's competition. Last character you've got is Kai, who's his assassin. He's been turned to an assassin, but he's dead. He's like a zombie almost.
Oh, right, sure.
But he can't be killed because he's already dead. Mm-hmm. So like the first episode, he has his head cut off. His body just guts the guy, then he picks his head up and sticks it back on his head, and it just reattaches itself. I mean, he gets frequently bits cut off, he sort of reattaches himself, and he's fine. Mm. So he can't be killed, although he requires this stuff called proto blood to keep him going.
Oh yeah, sure.
If you like Farscape, but you want something that's a bit more naff but fun, I recommend the series. It is so fun.
That's what sci-fi should be, though, because in a lot of later years, sci-fi became very, very serious.
I agree with that, but I do quite like the serious sci-fis, but I like the fun sci-fis as well. And
you find that there's a lot more serious sci-fi than there is kind of goofy fun sci-fi.
Yes and no. I think they perhaps at the time thought goofy fun sci-fi was the only way you get it made because they didn't think people would follow the serious sci-fi. Whereas I think now is more of a market. Because I said I like The Expanse, which is a very hard sci-fi series. I love that. It's one of my favourite sci-fi series of recent years. And to us, Battlestar Galactica was quite a serious series as well. But I also like it's like you can like dramas, you can like comedies as well. Mm-hmm. And sci-fi doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be the whole broad spectrum. This is definitely the funny end of the spectrum. It just it knows it's ridiculous. It doesn't mind. It just goes with it. Good. It's got a musical episode. And a really good musical episode as well.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, honestly, it's really good. It's this. They find a theatre floating through space. They land on it. There's a musical going on. They get to watch a musical. So yeah,
happens.
It happens. So it's on Amazon Prime for free. So
It's a good thing that's the only thing I actually have access to Amazon Prime.
yeah, I definitely, it's definitely if you like sort of a non-serious sci-fi and one that takes the mick out of itself, it's definitely worth a watch. So
2 thumbs up.
yes. Oh, don't do if you don't like gore because it's very gory, but that's fine. But it's over the top gore, so it's okay.
Safe for children.
Very safe for children. Very safe. You know when the guy's about to be injected with sperm. It's fine. Yeah, it's
all good.
fine. Yeah, yeah.
I remember watching Alien when I was a kid.
Yeah, but I don't remember sperm being injected in Alien.
No, but still.
So
I also remember
different.
watching the ending of Beverly Hills Cop 1, Victor Maitland getting shot full of holes and rolling, his blood corpse like rolling downstairs. That was, part of my childhood.
Yeah. So the one where you just don't know about a steamroller and then the marching band rolls over him.
No.
Oh, wrong thing then. I might have been Naked Gun. Very different type of film. There you go. Well, anything for TV before you move on? No, good.
No.
Finally, then. Now, this is surprising because normally this time of year we normally discuss Steam sale.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, something shocking.
Something happened.
Something really shocking has happened at Steam sale this year, and that is
No comment.
Skazz has purchased nothing.
Quite literally a big fat.
I thought he
donut.
purchased something. That turned out to be a gift. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's actually purchased actually nothing. I mean, I've been quite reserved this Steam sale because it's.
I will throw out
Christmas.
that I hadn't actually logged on to my Steam client in a long time, other than to accept that gift.
Oh,
I just haven't. I've barely really touched Steam at all.
we've been switching it a lot.
No, not even that really. Not even that. Well, because I've got a lot of retro games up there. Plus, I've been combating our rodent problem.
Yeah. Steam versus rodents.
Well, let's put it this way: if I don't solve the rodent problem, I won't have a computer to play games on. So,
Yeah. So, well, I've put up a few games.
a few. Have
few-
you took over my role?
No, I've been very good actually. I bought Life is Strange 2. I like Life is Strange 1, so, and strange enough, I think I played that over a January holiday, so I'm planning to sit. I'm actually going to sit down and watch and on one day, just going to play for the whole lot on one go on one day.
A mate of mine picked up Life is Strange 2, and he loved Life is Strange, and he won't.
Well, we'll see. It was cheap enough, so we'll see.
Fair enough.
I played a game called. I bought a game called Granny, survival horror game. Where it's just
That sounds right.
So
Trying to get away from the old folks' home.
Yeah, you are. You're trapped in Granny's house. You've got 5 days to get out. A Deadbolt, which is some sort of like, I think it looks a bit like Hotline Miami, but 2D on the side rather than top down.
Oh, isometric.
Yeah. No, not isometric. Actually, like side on.
Oh right. Oh right. Okay. Sure.
Somewhere on Zyblon, which is a game which is it was just because it was cheap, and it's. I don't really know what it's about. I think you should like fly around a planet or something. I don't know.
No.
The Room 3. I played the Room. I streamed the Room on. I didn't say it on WhatsApp. But
On WhatsApp?
On
How did you
Twitch.
do that?
I streamed the Room on Twitch, and it's a puzzle game where you have to open a box, and it's like loads of little keys, and you have to
Oh
move
yeah, I
around
remember
it,
you doing
yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Monstrum, which is another survival horror game, but that's randomly generated, procedurally generated. Every time that's like fair. Subnautica.
Isn't that one that Bard played?
It is one of Bar Play. It's now been released.
Oh right. Okay.
You played in early access, and it got alpha release this year.
Sure.
So I picked that up, and something called Ill Winter's Floor Plan Generator, which isn't a game, but it's making maps for D&D.
Oh right. Okay. Okay.
So as I've written a few modules, sort of set little missions now. I want to proper map generator. And Skazz got gifted 2 Point Hospital.
Yep. See, another thing is I didn't buy anything on Steam, but I mean, I in fairness, outside of the mice destroying everything, I had spent somewhere in the region of about 600 quid on retro console stuff and games. So they're still coming through the post.
Which is why not buying anything on Steam.
No. Well, in the grand scheme, there's nothing I really want on Steam, and I was talking to people on my stream about modern games. I've looked down the release lists. The only thing coming out on Nintendo Switch in the next 2 months that I'm even remotely interested in is a game that I've already owned on PC for a couple of years. So,
It's not another Doom, is it?
They're
not re-releasing Doom again.
like it's Doom, the original Doom again, Doom, the Doom collection.
You thought you had enough Doom? Here's even more Doom.
This is doomed.
Doomed from the start.
It's like, oh my god, this is Doom before they start throwing the spanners through the teleporter.
Yeah.
But I'm not particularly interested in a lot of modern games.
Oh.
Even in a lot of older stuff, I don't know. But 2018 has really been the only year that it's the first year in a long time I've actually regularly played games, purchased and played games. I think I'm suffering with a bit of gaming burnout.
Yeah, happens to us all. You can only play games for so long, and then, as you say, you get like, I just can't be bothered anymore.
Yeah.
That happens to all. I think it's the same with any sort of hobby or interest.
Trouble is, though, I have to live stream every day.
Yeah, you see, you've made your hobby your career now, so that's your problem.
Man, in my career, Jesus Christ, if only. If only, mate. Make my Twitch millions.
When you sitting up your Patreon?
It's already up.
Is it?
It's been up since the first.
Oh, wait, what's it? Send me the details.
I have.
When? How?
On Hangouts.
Did you?
Yeah. Ah, see? I'm on the ball here.
I don't remember getting a notification of that.
2019 is my sellout year. Ta-da!
It literally just come through. Oh, awesome.
See?
I'll get it sorted.
Nailed it.
I'll sort something out for you.
Yeah, penny.
Oh no, I'll do you at least £1.
God blimey, they'll tax half of that.
By the time it goes through the Euro system, the American system, so
Yeah,
forth.
by the time the Americans get their cut, Patreon gets their cut, and then I have to pay tax on it when it gets transferred over here. It's like, I don't know, half a penny left.
Half a penny left.
And it's still half a penny more than I started with.
Well, yeah.
And that's all that's left from a tenner.
Yeah, there you go. Bargain of the century.
Nailed it.
Right, well, I've got nothing else to add then.
That's it, we're done.
Hey, first
Apologies
podcast
for the-
2019.
Apologies for the jank audio, but once I sort out the rodent issue...
Right, Skazz.
Yeah.
They've been listening to my audio edits for the last year and 2 or 3 years. So
As long as they don't find the ones at the start, then we're all right.
yeah,
It's all up from here.
yeah, it's fine. I can't remember how long I've been doing the audio for, so it's been a while. There was a point where I didn't even know to do amplitude compression, so that they weren't enough. They were just what the default audio was. There, shit.
There you go.
Here we are. So thank you very much for watching on the TheSuffolkRam,
Skazz.
and we look forward to seeing you in a fortnight's time for the episode 106.
And it should also be noted that soon we are going to be finishing off our stream of Silent Hill 2 on PlayStation 2.
Yes, hopefully not this week, but next.
Yep.
So, yeah, look forward to that. I'll put something on YouTube for that. And if you like this man here, Skazzius, Skazzius.com / Patreon. Patreon.com/Skazzius, SK4ZZIOUS.
I0US.
Give this man a bone and indeed some money.
No one will do that.
No, well, see, we've got 50 people subscribed to our podcast.
Yeah,
Honestly, so those, of course, that's devices.
I'll get constant complaints.
That's
you said the audio was going to be better. Sucks.
That's right. If you want better audio, you need to give this man some money. So do that for us. Otherwise, he's going to delete his internet connection.
Yeah, that's happening July 1st, 2020. July 1st, July 2nd, 2020.
There you go. Okay, so we've got 18 months to stop this man deleting his internet connection.
If we don't,
and he will delete his internet connection. He's right-clicked it already.
ready to go. if I sneeze between now and then,
Will the last live stream be you holding the Ethernet cable in your hand with a pair of scissors? Like,
Pretty
bye,
much.
everybody. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
And it turns out the machine falls back to Wi-Fi. You're like, no!
I've been streaming. Shut the Wi-Fi. Get the Wi-Fi. Smash it.
Just go downstairs with a baseball bat.
Diverting to 4G.
No!
Go outside, climb the tower. No!
Just start whacking the crap out of
Diverting to rap.
How do we stop that?
Diverting to mental signals.
Oh, God.
Anyway, on that brief note, very much
done.
watching. So see you in a fortnight. Bye. Yay.